A friend on Facebook recently shared a link to an interactive map. It details the number of fatalities suffered by Marine Corps units in the Guadalcanal campaign from August 1942 to February 1943. The total number of fatalities is 1,353. Mapping the Cost of Guadalcanal is an independent research project by Geoffrey Roecker. The map he created is an intensely personal one. Seeing a photo, reading a bit of personal info, you may even be able to drive by an old house or a vacant lot where a young man left for war and never returned. I decided to visit 5 of the places in my surrounding location. This was the home of Daniel CASHMAN, 40 Pleasant Street, Marlborough, Massachusetts. Daniel died of hand grenade wounds. Edward MAGNAN, 28 Irving Street, Worcester, Massachusetts. Edward died of gunshot wounds to the right thigh. Leo GAGNON, 122 7th Street, Leominster, Massachusetts. Leo was killed in action on August 7, 1942, in the efforts to take the island of Gavutu. William Mahoney, 18 Faulkner Street, Ayer, Massachusetts. William was killed by machine gun fire on October 8, 1942. Each of these men were accounted for at death and ultimately buried. And then we have Joseph GOULET, who lived at 23 South Street, Grafton, Massachusetts. He was killed in action on Sunday, November 1st, 1942. He was with C Company, 1st Battalion, 5th Marines. What sets him apart from the others is that his body has still not been accounted for. Joseph took part in the first day of a renewed offensive across Guadalcanal's Matanacao River on November 1st, 1942. Company C took the brunt of the casualties. The point squad stumbled on a Japanese strongpoint hidden in a ravine, and they were chewed up by a withering barrage of fire. By nightfall, 27 Marines of Company C were dead or mortally wounded, one of the highest fatality rates any Marine company suffered in a single action on Guadalcanal. Joseph GOULET was among those killed at the strongpoint. On the following day, 30 Marines from 1st Battalion, 5th Marines were buried in the field, at a site 400 yards west of Point Cruz and 600 yards from the beach. Only 7 were recovered after the battle. The remainder, including Private GOULET, were classified as non-recoverable. For each of those 30 individuals, the same burial area was recorded, 400 yards west of Point Cruz and 600 yards inland from the shore. But only 7 of these Marines have ever been found to this day, and the exact position of the rest remains a mystery. When the bullets stopped flying and the wounded were on their way back to field hospitals, as with any engagement on Guadalcanal, attention turned to the disposal of the dead. For survivors, it was necessary to quickly collect the bodies, because they would decompose rapidly in the jungle and they posed obvious sanitation dangers. There was also the moral sapping impact, which ensured that burials usually took place as soon as possible. These hasty burial sites were labeled poorly or incompletely. They were dug too shallow or too deep, sited near rivers or streams that were vulnerable to flooding, sometimes exposed to more fighting, foraging animals. They faced threat or destruction in many ways.
More than 3,000 Americans had died fighting the enemy at Guadalcanal, so that the U.S. could seize the offensive and move forward in the long chain of bloody campaigns toward final victory.
Joseph GOULET and many others remain unaccounted for to this day. The Missing Marines list represents nearly a decade of research and is a sobering reminder of the brutal cost of war. As part of the research process for his book, Leaving Mac Behind, Geoffrey dove deep into unit muster rolls and USMC casualty reports to try and come up with a comprehensive list of all fatal casualties suffered during the 6-month campaign on Guadalcanal.
One day of American living, bought and paid for.
It's not difficult to appreciate Geoffrey's efforts. He's helping shed new light on the lost graves of Guadalcanal's missing Marines and the ongoing efforts to bring them home. Please check out the Missing Marines website and follow the page on Facebook. Thanks for watching.